welcome to Sir-Kenneth's Talk Show.
Good day and welcome back to this new edition of Sir-Kenneth's Talk Show. Today we'll be doing a movie review on the movie Tyler Perry's Mea Culpa. It's a Netflix original. So before we begin, please note to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more content from Sir-Kenneth. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Mea Culpa is a movie, a Tyler Perry movie that came out early this year. It came out, I think it was either February or March, but it came out, I think, early this year. And before the movie even came out, there were already a lot of mixed reactions about the movie. The movie stars Kelly Rowland as the lead and Trevante Rhodes. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Trevante Rhodes. Those are the two lead characters of the movie. Everybody loves Kelly Rowland because she's such an unproblematic artist. She's a singer and actress, so everyone loves Kelly Rowland. So this movie had mixed reactions before it was released. Why? Because when everyone saw that it was starring Kelly Rowland, they'll be like, "Yay, Kelly's in the movie!" But when they saw directed by Tyler Perry, they're like, "Okay, no, this is not going to end up well." People tend to criticize Tyler Perry movies a lot. I mean, his movies throughout the years have been heavily criticized. I think some of his movies have even won Razzie Awards. If you don't know what a Razzie Award is, it's like it's an award meant for the worst movies in Hollywood, like the worst. I think Tyler Perry has won a couple of Razzie Awards, I think one or two, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of big actors and actresses have won a Razzie Award as well. I mean, Sandra Bullock, Academy Award winner, has won a Razzie Award. Halle Berry, Academy Award winner, has won the Razzie Award as well. So it's not just a Tyler Perry thing. A lot of big actors have won the Razzie Awards for worst performances or worst bad movies. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, but that's a discussion for another day. Let's get back to Mea Culpa. So Mea Culpa, it stars Kelly Rowland as the lead, as Mea. She's a defense attorney who is married to this. She's married to a certain guy who I can't remember what his job was, but he seems to be jobless. He seems to be out of his job because I don't know what he did, but he doesn't have a job currently, and his mother supposedly suffers from cancer. So every penny Mea earns for their house, he takes it and spends on his mother's bills, medical bills, and stuff like that. And his mother is so bitter towards his wife Mea Harper. Mea is played by Kelly. Yeah, so his mother, Mea's mother-in-law, is so bitter towards her. She despises her really much. And so at the beginning of this movie, Mea and her husband are going through couples counseling because they seem to have a lot of issues in their marriage. Mea seems to be investing much into this, and her husband doesn't seem to be investing in as much. Okay, he prioritizes his mother, his own family, over his wife, and Mea isn't really happy about that. So anyway, moving forward, Mea has a brother-in-law, that's her husband's brother, who is also a lawyer, and he's also the DA of your town. I think I don't know what DA stands for. It's district attorney, something attorney. Yeah. So her brother-in-law seems to be the DA of their town, and so this new case is brought to Mea. She's, like I said, she's a defense attorney. She works in this law firm. And so, following day when she gets to work, this new case is brought to her about this artist, like he does paintings. He's accused of killing his girlfriend, and there's a lot of glaring evidence against him, and his case seems impossible to win. But however, Mea decides to take in that case, and to her greatest surprise, the lawyer who will be the prosecutor the lawyer who will be acting as prosecutor in this case will be her brother-in-law. So they'll be facing each other. They are supposed to face each other in court. And so, so Kelly, sorry, I always feel like calling her Kelly, but Mea in the movie, she gets into this case, she studies the case, and she sees there's a lot of evidence against her client. She even gets help from from a colleague of hers who detects liars, and he says. And they meet this guy Trevante Rhodes. He's the one who plays the artist. I think the artist's name is Zaire something. Yeah, so they meet this artist guy and they kind of interrogate him a little bit. And when they're done, Mea's colleague friend tells her that either this guy is innocent or he's just a super good liar. Yeah, so Mea continues with the case. She studies the case. She gets closer to her client, and her client is very seductive. Okay, he's very, very seductive towards women, and he has a lot of, I don't know if I should call them girlfriends, but he has several relationships with several women. And he tries to seduce his client, his lawyer, and she tries to resist him at all costs. Okay. And there's this one time when she got to his apartment, and she was like trying to like work, like just get to interrogate him and see, and move forward with the case. She was trying to build up their case, and the guy is just interested in painting, and then he tries to seduce her into sleeping with him, and she resists the first time. But while she decides to leave that apartment, she gets a message from her colleague friend, who the guy who detects liars. She receives a message from him, tells her that apparently her husband is cheating on her, because he actually saw them. She sends her a photo of her husband and some random lady in some I don't know if it was a hotel, but it was some sort of motel, hotel, I don't really know, but it was in an unusual apartment. It was with another lady, and so she just quickly assumed that her husband was cheating on her. So she was like, in her mind, she was like, okay, I'll just do the same. So she went back in, and she had sex with her client. Yes. So that night she doesn't get back home that night. So once she gets home the following day, her husband is really pissed at her. Like, where have you been? No, she doesn't go home directly. She goes to her job site, and her husband is there waiting for her, and he's really mad, and asking her, where have you been? I've been calling you all night, blah 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 blah. And apparently the woman he was with in that picture that was sent to his wife was his mother. And actually they were transferring her from one, I don't know if it was one hospital to another or something of the sort, but either way, the woman was his mother. And so it's then that Mia realizes that she's really, really messed up. And so there's this other lady that Mia decides to interrogate. She's quite an older lady. She's like in her 60s. So she decides to talk to her, and because she interrogates her, because this lady has actually had an encounter with the artist, with Mia's client. And so she talks with her, and this lady describes her encounter with the artist, and Mia realizes that it's identical to her own encounter with her client. I'm talking about the seduction, the painting, and everything. So she realizes that she's being played by her client. So she rushes back to his apartment and notices that there are paintings of several other women, including hers, several other women, and she's like, and on the poster of his girlfriend, whom he's accused of killing, is among these several paintings, and written on it is something about death. I'm not sure what it was, but it was something about death. And it's then that Mia thinks that her client was really guilty, and she's really, really mad. And she, at that moment, she decides to drop the case. And so she travels away for like a short while to like get her mind off all what she has just been through. So she goes to this island. I don't know if it's an island or was just somewhere by the beach. So she went there. She was in this hotel. It was morning, and so she was jogging. She was moving around, and then she runs into this woman who was supposedly killed by the artist's girlfriend, whom he supposedly killed. So she runs into her and like tries to stop her, and she's like tries to take her to the police, but this girl realizes that she has been recognized by someone, so she runs off, and unfortunately Mia is not able to get her to the police. Then this is the interesting part. She calls her brother-in-law and tries to convince him that no, that because, but I think at that moment they had already arrested the artist, since since Mia had dropped his case already. I think they had already arrested him. He was already in jail. So Mia calls her brother-in-law and tells him that no, she has found the woman who's supposedly dead. So obviously the artist is innocent, so he needs to be released ASAP. And okay, her brother-in-law acts like, okay, yes, that's fine. He's going to do everything in his power to make sure that justice is served. So she gets home. So Mia gets home, I think the following day, and she receives a message from her detective friend. It's an email actually. So she opens her email, and apparently her mother-in-law, who is supposedly suffering from cancer, is not suffering from any cancer. Okay, she's not suffering from cancer. So as soon as she reads that mail, she bumps into her mother-in-law, who pretends like to have a seizure and smashes her phone. But before, luckily for her, she had already forwarded the mail to her brother-in-law. And so once her mother-in-law smashes her phone, you know, she tries to get her up, and she tries to act as cool as possible, but she's just suspicious of everything, of everyone around her. And her brother-in-law walks in, and while her mother-in-law is talking, she tells her brother-in-law that check your emails. And so he checks his email and says that his mother doesn't have cancer. And he's like, Mom, you don't have cancer. And his mother is like, yes, I don't. So tell Mia why I don't have cancer. Meaning her brother-in-law and her mother both knew she didn't have cancer. So it was a plot between the two of them. Yeah, so I forgot to mention, before I continue, sorry, I forgot to mention that her brother-in-law was running for mayor of the town. And in order for him to, yeah, okay, let me just end there. He was running for mayor of the town. So back to the story. So once Mia realizes that they all knew all along that that nobody was suffering from cancer, she's shocked. She is really, really shocked at that moment. And she asks them, why did they lie to her? Why did they make it seem like she had cancer? And why did they willingly? No. She first asked, why did they act like she had cancer? Okay, back to the storyline. So they were all in on it. Okay, and so they tell her that they intentionally set this whole thing up to convict the artist, so they will use him as he's going to be more relevant because he was the DA. Mia's brother-in-law, who was supposed to be the prosecutor on the case, is running for mayor of the town. So he needs to win this case so that it will serve as a boost during his campaign. And the reason why he chose to convict this specific artist was because his wife apparently had an affair with this artist, and now Mia too has had an affair with the artist. So Mia's mother-in-law is really pissed off that both her daughter-in-laws have betrayed her sons with the same guy. So at that instant, they try to kill Mia. But luckily Mia runs out. She escapes of the building. She runs out, and on the streets, the most iconic scene for me, I think, was the scene when Mia was running out on the streets at night. I mean, I just love the framing of that particular scene. It was just so beautiful to watch. Anyway, as she's running out in the street, she runs into her husband, who is driving home, and she rushes into her husband's car and trying to explain to him that how his mother doesn't have cancer, and her brother-in-law and her mother-in-law tried to kill her, and she narrates the whole scenario to him, and he's like, okay. But then he makes a phone call he calls his brother, and his brother informs him that his wife knows everything. And that's when Mia realized that her husband too was part of the whole setup. And so she's really pissed off. So there is a truck driving towards them, and so she turns the steering, and the steering hits the vehicle, but just the side of the driver's side where her husband was sitting. And that's when I think he died. I don't know if he died or he was just injured, but he was seriously injured. I don't think he survived. And so that's when at the end, the police come and they do their thing. They arrest the DA, arrest his mother, and and everything, and they set the artist free. So that was a brief rundown of Mea Culpa. Okay, so that's it about Mea Culpa. So first of all, I must say, when I first saw the trailer of this movie, I thought I already had the movie all figured out, but I was wrong, because from the trailer makes you believe that Mia meets this client, thinks he's innocent, gets entangled with him, and then later on realizes that he's actually guilty. That is not the case, y'all. That is really not the case. This artist is actually innocent, because though there was a lot of glaring evidence against him, he's actually really innocent. So I got the trailer completely wrong. Okay, so if you're one of those who always act like, okay, when you see the trailer of a movie, you already know what the movie is about, it wasn't the case with this particular trailer and this particular movie. Yeah. So in my opinion, I think the movie is not a bad movie. Tyler Perry, I think I won't say it's a great movie. It's not like a movie I'll come back to over and over to watch it. I'll watch it maybe like once or twice, and that will be that. I don't think I'll watch it again after that. But I think it's an okay movie, okay, to check out, to watch with friends, family. Ooh, no, don't watch it with family. Don't watch this movie with your parents or your brother. Well, it depends on what kind of relationship you'll have, but there's a spicy sex scene in this movie. Yeah, so it's really, really spicy. So yeah, anyway, apart from that, I think it's an okay movie. Though it's not like a movie I'll watch over and over again because there's nothing that'll bring me back to it. I already know what's going to happen. So yeah, so it's an okay movie in my opinion. It's really an okay movie. Is it Oscar worthy? Maybe not. Maybe not Oscar worthy, but Kelly gave a great performance. That's what I'm going to say. Kelly Rowland gave a really great performance. Anywho, that was that for today's video, for today's episode. I'd like to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. Have you seen Mea Culpa yet? If you did, what do you think? What was your opinion? Okay, and if you haven't, sorry for spoiling it for you. Yeah, I'm really, really sorry. Thank you for staying tuned to Sir-Kenneth Talk Show. See you next time for another amazing episode. Bye. Peace.